Green Bay, Wisconsin, home of the 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers, playing at frigid Lambeau Field. This is the frozen tundra.
Yo YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Cheese Empire back here with another video, and today we are going to be breaking down the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys trade with Micah Parsons and the signing of Micah Parsons for the Green Bay Packers. So let's get right on into it. Let's start off with the exact package that it was. So you had the Green Bay Packers received Micah Parsons, and the Dallas Cowboys received Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks. Overall, this is a very good trade for the Green Bay Packers. For the Dallas Cowboys, we'll get into that later on, but let's talk about the Packers. For the Green Bay Packers, they got a huge pass rusher. They made a move that they haven't made in years. And when I say years, I mean years. This is a Reggie White type of move for the Green Bay Packers. For those who do not know, back in the 1990s, the Green Bay Packers signed Reggie White in free agency, basically making free agency what it is today, where you have these big players, because usually these huge top-tier players would stay with the teams, but with the signing of Reggie White, he opened free agency up to the status of what today, and that signing of Reggie White took the Packers from a playoff team to a Super Bowl contending team, won one Super Bowl, lost one to the Denver Broncos, of course, but overall helping boost the team. And the Green Bay Packers did that this time, but instead of signing a guy in free agency, they traded for a guy in Micah Parsons. Now, Micah Parsons ain't no Reggie White. I love Reggie. I love Micah. They do very similar stuff with the power. Like, there's a video clip that the NFL posted that I will show here, where Micah Parsons basically took Reggie White's move on Mike McGlinchey and just shoved him to the ground with the one hand. Now, overall, this is a great move for this Packers defense, too, especially with Sean Gary, when he's healthy, who is a top 10 pass rusher himself. Now, the key word is when he's healthy. So you get a guy who can be on the field if Gary's not healthy, who can make more of an impact than Gary, if we're being completely honest here. Now, Rashawn Gary makes an impact for the Packers, and that's the reason why they gave him a great extension 2 off seasons ago. But you get a guy to go next to him to help make that pass rush a dynamic duo. This is like 2014 all over again, but better, with how in 2014 the Packers had Julius Peppers and Clay Matthews. Now you're adding Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary, who, with Micah Parsons, is a better pass rusher at this point than Julius Peppers and Clay Matthews was at their time. But you add a guy to help make it. And we remember how scary that defensive line was for the 2014 Packers, making huge plays, making it very tough on opposing defenses. Now, the issue with that Packers team in 2014 was sadly the secondary. But what this does for the Packers, though, this move, it is going to help the defense out as a whole. Because one thing that the Packers defense had a huge hole in was edge rusher, the other one, because you have Rashawn Gary, the solid guy. But you really didn't have the consistency because Lucas Van Ness has not developed to the piece you were hoping him to develop to at this point in his career. I'm not saying he needed to be a top tier, just being able to make an impact. Well, Gary got the attention. You also have Kingsley Barre, who is a very good run pass edge rusher, but really doesn't make the impact there that you need to help out Rashawn Gary, who's getting all the attention. Because the only person who really made the move on that defensive line in the past when Gary was held up was Kenny Clark. He was the one making the moves. Now, that's why I feel like the Packers got rid of Kenny Clark, because they knew that's what you needed to get the deal done. And you have to make the sacrifice, because if we're being honest, Kenny Clark is getting up there in his age. He's up there in his 30s now. And Kenny Clark, loved Kenny Clark. He was a great Packer. He was what it meant to be a Packer. But you had to make that move because you're getting a better pass rusher itself. Like in the pass game, on defense, on that defensive line in Micah Parsons, you're getting an upgrade there. Kenny Clark, really, his biggest issue, I would say, would be stopping the run itself. But you got Carl Brooks and you got Devondre Wyatt, who all you need to ask from them is to just help stop the run up the middle. Because you got two outside guys. You still got Quay Walker. You got Edrin Cooper, very fast, speedy, quick guys who can have quick bursts through the A, B, C gaps that you need to help stop the run. This is overall going to make this front and seven of the Green Bay Packers very, very much better. Now, with the Green Bay Packers as well, with this steal going through and being done, this is going to help the corners, because corner is an issue in my eyes. Outside, of course, of Valentine, you got question marks, because you got Keyshawn Nixon, who really isn't an outside corner, more so the nickel/slot role he really plays. And then you got, of course, Nate Hobbs, who they signed in free agency from the Las Vegas Raiders, who I'm hoping Jeff Hafley can help make the jump for him, but I don't know, because really in Vegas he was just all right. He wasn't making that impact you were. But the biggest thing with the Packers is you hope to get this step from Valentine that he took last year, and hope he takes it and extends on it. Like his rookie year versus Kansas City Chiefs showed the potential he had. Last year with Jair going down, Eric Stokes not being the guy, he stepped up and took that number one spot. Yes, did he have his issues at times? Yes. But he also made very, very good plays as well. And that's what you want to see from a second-year player in Valentine. And now you're heading into his third year. So you're going to have him hope he can take the next step. And what's going to help him with this step? The pass rush. Because this pass rush is going to help get to the quarterback, help make it hard on them, especially in a division where you got Jared Goff, a top 10 quarterback. You got Caleb Williams, a very, very quarterback that's hard to contain. You add another pass rusher next to Rashawn Gary, it's going to be very difficult for Caleb Williams to maneuver when you have guys like Micah Parsons coming off the edge, Rashawn Gary coming off the edge, Edrin Cooper coming in on a blitz, Quay Walker coming in on a blitz. It's going to be hard for a guy like Caleb Williams to make the flashy plays he made in college, and that the Bears are hoping for he can make in his second year. And then you got J.J. McCarthy, who's going to be, basically this is his second year in the league, but his rookie year on the field being the starter for the Minnesota Vikings. Sadly, he had an injury last year that he did not see the field for. Hope he can stay healthy, because you don't want to see the injuries. But you got a very interesting quarterback situation in the North, and Micah Parsons is going to help with it. And it's also going to help, too, because the NFC North had a very good offensive line. All four teams had a good offensive line, according to PFF. Now, this is going to help the Packers' defensive line make moves, because when Micah Parsons gets attention, who can come free? Rashawn Gary. They one-on-one Parsons. I'm taking Parsons any day. I don't care who the tackle is. Parsons is going to be able to make plays against these top-tier tackles as well. Yes, he's going to be going against guys like Landon Dickerson eventually in the year, Jordan Mailata. With Philly, you got, of course, Penny Sewell out in Detroit. Yes, you got good tackles in the schedule, but Micah Parsons has shown before, no matter who the tackle is, he can still make a play. So overall, this is going to be a huge move for the Green Bay Packers. This is also going to help safety Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams, and Javon Bullard as well. This is going to help them, especially Xavier McKinney, who was tied with Kirby Joseph last year for the most interceptions in the entire NFL. That's going to help him out a lot, because that's going to make these quarterbacks make harder throws that's going to cause for mistakes. That's going to make it very easy for Xavier McKinney to do what he does best. Be the ball hawk. Be the guy to break up passes, to intercept passes that this defense needs. The turnovers they need, and that's what Micah Parsons is going to help cause as well. So overall, I give the Green Bay Packers an A+ in this trade and signing. You sign him to a deal averaging 147 mils for over the next 4 years. I love that signing. You have him from 26 to 30 under contract, basically his prime under contract as well. And with this deal, you're going to have the next extension be, for like example, Aiden Hutchinson, who's going to be like, look at what Micah Parsons made. I'm I am up there. I'm younger. I have potential to be like that. He's going to help his deal. And then same thing with Trey Hendrickson, who's going to be a free agency. He's going to want a deal because he's going to be like, look, I led the league in sacks last year. This year, it's probably going to be up there again in sacks. He's going to be like, I deserve that type of money. So this deal is going to help in the next 2 to 3 years to look like a steal for the Green Bay Packers. Now, let me know down below what you think. Do you think this was a great deal for the Packers? Do you think they got an A+? Let me know. I want to know. And if you guys haven't already, hit that love and sub button. And as always, stay cheesy.